Hey guys, welcome to another fan cam commentary. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Puerto Rico promotion, World Wrestling Console, Carlos Colon versus Dick Murdoch in a barbed wire match, barbed wire with ropes, not the Japanese death match style of a barbed wire match, but the classic NWA style of a barbed wire match, with a classic wrestler like Dick Murdoch. And I believe Dick Murdoch's manager is suspended above this ring in a cage. And that guy's name is Joe Don Smith. And you'll get a glimpse of him here soon. Looks like Murdoch's already ran into the wire there. This company is actually owned by Carlos Colon, the guy in the ring right now. The father of Carlito, Primo, from WWE fame, Epico. Three of his sons were all professional wrestlers. Carlito probably the most famous. Carlos Colon, known for his bloodbath matches, though, in Puerto Rico throughout the 80s and even into the 90s. I believe this is 1991 here. And Dick Murdoch, known for just being a brute and a badass through the history of pro wrestling, wrestling from the 60s through the 90s until his death. Lived a very rough and hard life. Former tag team partners with Dusty Rhodes in the early 70s. See, he's trying to put Carlos Colon's head into the barbed wire, which is wrapped around the ropes, and there's strands around the posts outside the ropes. So it'd be pretty hard to actually get outside this ring without getting tore up. So I haven't gotten a glimpse of Dick Murdoch's manager here, who again is suspended above the ring in a classic style match in a cage, so he cannot interfere. Carlos Colon got Dick Murdoch into the ropes, into the corner here, throwing right hand after right hand. A little bit early here, but I'm sure the blood will flow in this match. Again, World Wrestling Console known as he delivers his head right into one of those strands of barbed wire on the ropes. Known for the violent contests that they would have. Of course, Abdul the Butcher, Bruiser Brody, having classics in this promotion with Colon and with each other. Terry Funk, Dutch Mantel. I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm not sure if the manager was trying to throw something down to Murdoch or what. And Murdoch, I think he just pulled something out of the side of the ring there, out of the apron. Yeah, he's got a chain or a rope there and choking Carlos Colon. Wearing Carlos Colon down right now. Murdoch was making a lot of... Oh, headbutt to the referee. Okay. Referee trying to get in there on this choke, and he just headbutted him right in the head. Murdoch was making some rounds during this time frame. He was working for FMW in Japan. Of course, World Wrestling Console here in Puerto Rico. He was still doing a little bit of NWA with WCW in the States. Not long from here, he had a little bit of a program in Smoky Mountain Wrestling with Cornette once Smoky Mountain started up in a couple of years. Oh, okay, now he's getting choked by Carlos Colon here with that either rope or chain. I believe it might be a rope. I'm not sure. I can't really get a good glimpse of it. But either way, it's doing... Yeah, okay, that was a rope, I believe. Now putting the boots to him, his referee's going to get rid of that rope after he's recuperated from that headbutt from Murdoch. Again, Joe Don Smith above the ring in a cage. As you can see again, Carlos Colon just putting the head of Murdoch into the barbed wire. And he's got a smile on his face here. And if anyone's ever seen a close-up in the pictures of Carlos Colon, his head is just like railroad tracks from all the scar tissue that's built up on his head. Much like Abdul the Butcher, but about 10 times worse. Carlos Colon didn't have many matches where he didn't bleed buckets. And Puerto Rico is a promotion known for its hardcore style, but the fans are known for being absolutely insane and buying every bit of everything. And a lot of times, especially in the 80s and 70s in Puerto Rico, you know, they actually had to put fences up around the crowd because they would throw beer bottles and rocks at the wrestlers. There's a lot of crazy stories of people getting into a lot of altercations there. I know Terry Funk was stabbed in Puerto Rico by a fan. Oh, and a low blow by Dick Murdoch there. And I believe Murdoch is busted open after having his head put into the barbed wire numerous times here. He's got a second to get his bearings about him here after that low blow to Colon. As Colon is down on the mat, as you can see Dick Murdoch trying to figure out what he's going to do as he wears the crimson mask. Puerto Rico, this promotion and this WCCW promotion actually still exists today. It's still ran by Carlos Colon, believe it or not. One of the longest running promotions in pro wrestling, quite frankly. You can see something else is being, okay, oh, I see. His manager is dropping down a chalkboard that he's written on, giving him instructions that he's got on a chain that he's lowering from that cage that's above the ring there. That's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that in one of these types of matches when, you know, especially, okay, yeah, you can see up there he's about to write something else. Of course, in the NWA, they put Jim Cornette in a cage like this, or James J. Dillon, you know, one of the managers that like to interfere a lot. And this would kind of get them out of the hair of the face. But in this case, he's still dropping down notes on a chalkboard to his wrestler. There, Carlos Colon now busted open. There's a close-up of his forehead there. Carlos Colon, again, been through some wars in pro wrestling. Oh, and just gets knocked into the wire there, back first. As Murdoch's going to throw him in there now. Make sure he fills the wire. Two legends. Legends at this point, too. You know, Carlos Colon had already been wrestling most of his life at this point. Dick Murdoch had been around for an extremely long time as well. You know, Dick Murdoch's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. He was an absolute journeyman. I mean, he wrestled for every promotion that you could probably think of. Former WWF Tag Team Champion with Adrian Adonis. Wrestled in New Japan Pro Wrestling, All Japan Pro Wrestling, World Wrestling Council. Promotions that are on the fringe of pro wrestling like FMW, which is about death matches. Had a match with Onita around this time period. But I was always a respected pro wrestler from what he did in the States in the 70s and 80s. But he was a journeyman. He was all over the place. And just known for his toughness in wrestling. You can see Colon in the corner here. He keeps getting knocked into the wire. And again, I've had some barbed wire matches on this channel before, and they're usually from Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling, which is a lot different than this. Usually the electrified barbed wire is involved. But just in general, they usually take down the ropes. There is some barbed wire matches where they put it on the ropes and it's still pretty brutal, but this is more of a classic style. You know, the National Wrestling Alliance would do these barbed wire matches throughout the 70s and 80s, and it was more of a gimmick, you know. It was basically to show that the wrestlers were stuck inside of the ring. Oh, weird little cartwheel by Carlos Colon showing that he's fired up here as he's going to start laying them in on Dick Murdoch. Oh, Dick Murdoch into the wire again head first. Back first this time. And a big headbutt by Colon, dropping Murdoch this time. Both men bleeding profusely. Thanks for joining me, folks. Please hit subscribe, like, comment on this video. That helps out the algorithm here on YouTube. Please click the bell so you'll get notifications once I do drop content. I mention this every time now, but please go to Facebook. If you actually search Fan Cam Commentary on Facebook, you should find the page on there that's continuing to grow pretty nicely, and I drop daily content on there. I'm just starting to drop every Saturday morning. I'm going to start dropping the old Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling cartoons until I run out of those. There's about 2 seasons of that. Big pile driver right in the middle of the ring by Dick Murdoch on Colon there. Is he going to try to get a cover maybe? And I'm not sure what Smith is doing up in the cage, but he's doing something. I don't know if he's going to drop another note on a chalkboard, if he's maybe going to drop a weapon. He's calling for something. It's Murdoch, though. Can't make out what he's... Yeah, okay, yeah, as you can see, there's a close-up there as he's trying to string down some brass knucks. Oh, Carlos Colon got him, though. Oh, Smith done messed up now. Carlos Colon has the knucks as he's going to waylay on Dick Murdoch. Knocked him clean out. That could be it. 1, 2, 3. That is it, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, Dick Murdoch just got defeated by Carlos Colon in this barbed wire match in Puerto Rico World Wrestling Console. Joe Don Smith made a big mistake there. He hadn't thrown down anything but notes until the very end, and he threw down a pair of brass knucks, which got intercepted by Carlos Colon and ended up doing in his man, Dick Murdoch. That was a pretty cool match, a classic match. As you can see, Colon is getting the belt here and retaining, I would say. See, the fans are going nuts there. They're lowering Smith down out of the cage now. And I think Colon wants a little bit of Smith. No, he's coming back into face. Oh, okay, yeah, they're trying to lower Smith down. Murdoch was going to get up to try to fight Colon. And I think Colon wants a little bit of Joe Don Smith. So they continue to lower him down into the ring here. In this cage that was keeping him high above the ring so he could not interfere. Now Colon's going to get out of there. Again, as they slowly drop him to the ring here. What a contest, though, and another classic match on the violent side of the history of pro wrestling. I would tell anybody to seek out any World Wrestling Console stuff, especially some Abdullah the Butcher, Carlos Colon action, Bruiser Brody, of course. I know Bruiser Brody, this is the promotion that he was murdered in the locker room in 1988. But before that happened, there was a lot of good Bruiser Brody stuff in this promotion. This promotion in general, and in Puerto Rico, known for its insane, tough wrestlers and fans, and for the lawlessness of the country, and being a dangerous place for wrestlers to work. But the money was always good, and you had everybody went there. The biggest stars went to this promotion in what was, quite frankly, a pretty dangerous situation sometimes. I believe Terry Funk was stabbed with a knife that was dipped in piss by a fan at one of these shows in the 70s.
What kind of shit is that?
Of course, Dutch Mantell has stories as well. Basically, if you were a bad guy in this promotion, you had to watch your back, because the fans would take it upon themselves to get involved in the action. And this is a little bit later after that. I'm sure they're pretty wild here still, but a lot of that crazy stuff was in the 70s and 80s. And this is the early 90s. We still have Murdoch and Colon kind of eyeing each other up outside the ring here.